Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Take on Tottenham. My name is Ben and this is my take on Tottenham. And for a change, we're not doing a match reaction. This is a non-match reaction video. I really wanted to start integrating videos into my channel over the next couple of months to do with just more stuff to do with Tottenham, not just match reactions. I want to start doing some videos on the transfer window, obviously the current one and obviously windows to come. And I wanted to also produce videos like this where I focus on a specific subject. So it's something I'm really excited to start doing, and I'd really appreciate your support to subscribe to the channel to see those videos, because I'll put a lot of work into making them. So and I'm always interested to see what people think. So without further ado, let's go on to the first video. And where do I start? I thought a great place to start, like I said, I've been wanting to do this video for a while. Dele Alli. I wanted to do a video in support of Dele Alli, and it'll be no surprise that it's been quite a controversial sort of subject for people to talk about. Obviously there's different opinions on the matter, but just to do a really basic summary of the situation that we have on our hands. Dele Alli joined Spurs at a very young age and really like hit the ground running. He had some really good seasons, producing some amazing football, not just scoring goals but assisting them as well, and was really looking like we had a world-class player on our hands, or should I say back then a future world-class player. And over the sort of last couple of seasons, things have started to sort of drop off a little bit, and we're now in changing manager, of course. We're now in a situation where he's just not playing, and he is getting some chances, but compared to things previously where he was having full seasons, like playing every single week in the Premier League, things aren't happening that way at the minute. And like I said, it's been a very divisive subject. I've certainly sort of swayed on this with my opinions. I've sort of been on one side then the other, and I just really want to make this video just to get my point of view out there. So let's just go over Dele Alli, because I've been doing some homework. So let's go over Dele Alli's stats for this season so far. So last game, if you're watching this after this game, the recent game that we played, this is where we go up to. So we're going up to the Fulham game that we've just had. So that's where we are currently in the season. So Dele Alli this season has 4 Premier League appearances. 4. He's had 10 games that he's not even been in the squad. The last 3 games that he's played for us, including the Fulham game, he was an unused sub. And I just thought this was quite important to note that against Palace and Liverpool, granted he made appearances in those games, but they were 5 and 3 minutes left in the game, respectively. And to me, that's just not enough time to really make much of an impact as a substitute. And from October 18th, which everyone will unfortunately remember was the West Ham draw, the 3-3. From October 18th to December 6th, which was the Arsenal game, he was not in the squad. That's about just over a month. And bear in mind that in football terms, that used to be about 4 games. But the way the games are flowing at the minute, like I said earlier, there's 10 games where he was not even in the squad, and it's not a good state of affairs. In the Europa League, he's had 6 appearances, so a little bit more game time in the Europa League, and he's had two matches where he's been an unused sub. The Carabao Cup, he's had 1 appearance so far against Stoke. The FA Cup, obviously, literally last week was 1 appearance, and that was against Marine. And they're the stats for the season at the minute, and like I said, it divides opinion. There's people who think that he doesn't deserve game time, and there's people that think that he does deserve game time. There's people that want him sold. There's people who want him to stay. There's people, it really is a subject that a lot of opinions, that's getting a lot of opinions. And like I said, at the start of the season, I'll hand on my heart, I will not lie, when I think it was around the Southampton game that he was not involved for when we beat them 5-2. I was of the opinion that no name is bigger than the club. Obviously, we've had some very good seasons with Dele Alli. We know what a world-class player he is and can be. But I was of the opinion that I was quite glad Jose had made the decision to drop him, because I generally thought, like I said, no name's bigger than the club. You shouldn't just be on the team sheet because you're a big name, and you should be on the team sheet because your performances have warranted that spot. And the likes of Tanguy Ndombele, Serge Aurier have proved this. Players that have really, when you think about it, come back from the brink. Even Moussa Sissoko has really came back from a position where they were probably going to try and leave, and now they're getting in the team really every week. And I think not only are those players examples, but like I said, they've warranted that starting spot. They've worked hard. They've done a U-turn on the bad performances that they were putting in. And now, again, like I said, you wouldn't have a team sheet without those players at the minute. So I was initially quite happy, because I generally thought it was maybe an attitude problem, maybe like I said, maybe an expectation that he should be in the team. And I was quite glad when Jose made that decision, not only because, like I said, there was players around him that were performing better. Lo Celso was in form. Ndombele was in form. Obviously, Højbjerg's come in and hit the ground running. And you kind of think, where does Dele Alli slot into that midfield when those guys are playing better? So initially, I was quite happy with the decision. I thought the team was doing good. In games, there was around the time that we beat Man U 6-1 as well. The team was really performing quite well. And obviously, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Fast forward to the last 2-3 weeks. I'm going to use in particular the Wolves game that we played. I find that we're in situations at the minute. Spurs, they went through a period where they faced Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal, and they passed the test of Man City because they absolutely did a Mourinho masterclass on them. And Chelsea, overall, I think Spurs probably be disappointed that they didn't get 3 points, but also getting a point at Stamford Bridge is a good point as well. Then Liverpool, they beat Arsenal as well, and again that was another sort of Mourinho masterclass type game. And then Liverpool happened, where again, we had some decent opportunities. Liverpool were the better team, despite what Jose said. Liverpool were the better team. We had some really good chances, and we lost that game. And that seemed to sort of start a little bit of a downward slope in form and things. And like I said, fast forward to the Wolverhampton Wanderers game onwards, I feel like we've kind of been found out as a team. I don't feel like there's a plan B. I think Jose is relying on this, and I'm not a Jose out person at all. I'm not like saying get the manager out, it's all the manager's fault. I think there are some things that contribute to the current team state of affairs, both managerial and players. I think it's a whole it's both contributing factors to why we're struggling at the minute. But I feel like Spurs kind of don't have a plan B. They've kind of found that against the likes of Man City, that get the lead, sit on the lead, defend, and hit teams on the counter attack. It works against some teams, not every team. And like I said, we went up early against Wolves. We got a really early goal against them. We sat back and conceded late on. We did the same against Palace. We sat back and conceded late on. We did the same against Newcastle actually very early on in the season. And granted, the decision was a terrible decision, but we had chances to put the game away and we didn't, and we were penalised for that. And once again, recently, the other night, Fulham went 1-0 up, sat back, didn't attack, and the inevitable happened and we conceded. And apart from Brighton, I believe, we're the team that's given away most points from a winning position, which is terrible. It's not. That's not what a team with such high aspirations does. So I think that it. Like I said, there's contributing factors. I think Jose, in terms of the Fulham game, I thought it was a poor team selection. No attacking intent in terms of you've got Winks, Højbjerg and Sissoko who played on the right. it's not an attacking team. And things like that are very frustrating as a fan when you know there are players like Dele Alli who have had, granted, like I said, nowhere near, in terms of games where we've seen them play, they've not had the same ability that we've seen them in the past. The Dele Alli that I saw against Marine was not the same Dele Alli that scored the winner against Crystal Palace, that wonder goal. But what I do believe is, in a team that was clearly lacking such creative and attacking flair that night, I thought that was primed and ready for a Dele Alli or even a Gareth Bale to come in. Especially Gareth Bale being a right winger, it would be a like-for-like swap for Sissoko, who was on the right. Unfortunately, these things didn't happen, and like I said, the inevitable happened where we conceded and we dropped points. Dele Alli, in terms of over the last few seasons, his first season with Spurs, he had 33 Premier League appearances, he got 10 goals and 9 assists. The next season, which I believe was his best season with us so far, the 16-17 season, he had 37 appearances in the Premier League, 18 goals and 9 assists. In the 17-18 season, he had, again, this is all in the Premier League, he had 36 appearances, 9 goals and 11 assists. And in the 18-19 season, the Champions League final season, he had 25 appearances, 5 goals and 3 assists. Now, that season, there was a significant drop-off. But I really want to make this very clear that as much as Lucas Moura gets the praise in that Champions League final and the Champions League semi-final, and rightly so against Ajax, Dele Alli assisted 2 goals in that game, and I do think it's a case of you can't really ever really write him off. He's always got the quality. It is up to him to perform, and only he can do that. No one else is in charge of that. But I'm also a believer that he's not going to be able to perform if he's not getting game time. And also in the 19-20 season, which was literally last season, he had 25 appearances, 8 goals and 4 assists. And probably most of those goals came when Jose came in. Again, I would like to state that literally last season, people were saying, oh, Dele Alli's back, he's, all this and that. And Jose was getting the best out of him when we changed managers. And it seemed like Dele was back, but obviously then we had the drop-off again. So it's not a case that he's lost the skill. It's not a case that he's not a potentially world-class player anymore. Dele Alli, I believe, will come back one day in terms of what we know he's got in his locker. He's only 24. He is a world-class player. And we like I said, we know what he can do. We've seen it. And like I said, he's still young. So I don't believe that this is it for him. I don't believe the writing's on the wall. I still believe he has a future at Spurs. I want him to have a future at Spurs. And like I said, I'm putting across the case in this video that I started off being glad that he wasn't in the team, because I felt like his, like I said, no one person is bigger than the team, and that there were players playing better than him. But in a team over the last 3 or 4 weeks that has been deprived of creativity, that it's not good to watch. It's horrible to watch the football at the minute. I think they're missing Lascelles, so Ndombele is doing the best he can, but again, like when you're in a midfield with Harry Winks, Højbjerg and Sissoko, you are limited in what you can do. And I just feel like now is the best time to start integrating Dele back into the squad. We know what he can do. We all know. We've seen it. I think I've wrote down some of his best goals. If people can remember this, then kudos to you. His goal against Palace, we all know that. That was an absolutely world-class strike where he dinked it over his head. He pulled it away from the defender, put it over his head and volleyed it into the goal. One that I always remember is a goal against Watford. He picked up the ball with Son just on the left of in the old White Hart Lane, just on the left of the area, about 25 yards out, just curled an absolute beautiful shot into the top right-hand corner. In the far left corner, sorry. And it was a really good goal. His goal against Chelsea, where I think Alderweireld hit the long ball over the top, he somehow managed to bring it down and then get a touch and like absolutely smash it past, I think it was Caballero at the time, which again, we won at Chelsea for the first time in how long. His goal against Arsenal, again, another thing where he was through on goal, a little dink finish over the keeper. That was in the cup. Literally a couple of goals last season he scored still showed that quality. Anyone remember the goal that he scored against Man United, where he had two Man United defenders on him in the box? He dinked the ball over / in the middle of them and hit it into the net. His goal against Brighton, where he sort of half volleyed it, lobbed over the keeper, and that gave us the win against Brighton. I believe it was on Boxing Day last season. He's still got the quality. It is still there. It's just, yes, it is up to him to unlock it. But again, I'm now believing that he has to have the game time. You've got to give him the opportunity, Jose. Again, I'm not a Jose out person, but it's incredibly frustrating to see a player that we know's got the potential not getting the game time. And I don't know if there's an issue behind the scenes, but like I said, he's been an unused sub 10 times. He's been not even in the squad 10 times this season. And especially the last 3 games in particular, to be on the bench when we needed that creativity and to not get used. I don't know if there is an issue behind the scenes or not. Obviously, we saw the documentary last year, but it's incredibly frustrating. And I'm very passionate now that I really want Dele Alli to get his chance in the squad. Like I said, Lo Celso's out at the minute. We don't have a return date on his injury. And like I said, I think there's an opportunity to stick him in the midfield and see what he can do. Give him some minutes in the Premier League and don't just bring him on against Marine. And I think another frustrating thing is with the situation at the minute is that Dele, when he's been playing, has been putting in good performances. I thought he had a good game against Stoke. Jose came out and blamed him for the goal, which, yeah, everyone makes mistakes for the goal, but he didn't come out and dig out Lucas Moura when he made a mistake for the Leicester goal a few weeks ago. I don't know if it was a specific thing because it's Dele, but I thought he had a good game despite that. I thought he had a really good game against Marine. And like I said, he's doing all he can do. I just want him to get the chance. If it ends up that he goes to PSG, I want it to be on loan because I would want him to go back. And going with that as well, in regards to PSG, Pochettino is there. I believe that the team that we used to have, where Dele was in his prime, was a better team for Dele to play in. I thought, not in terms of the better team that, if you had to contrast them and us now, but the team where we finished second in the league, the last season at White Hart Lane, we were unbeaten at home that whole season. The football that we were playing was probably some of the best football I've ever seen as a Spurs fan in my lifetime supporting them. And he had the system suited him more. He was in more of an attacking role. I think he was playing just behind Kane. You had Kyle Walker and Danny Rose in their prime on the right and left wing respectively. You had the Belgian Rick Wall at the back of a Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen, who were in their prime as well. You had Christian Eriksen, who really was starting to come into his own. And like I said, Harry Kane and Heung-min Son as well, who were really starting to hit form as well. And I think Harry Kane got the golden boot that season. And like I said, that 16-17 season, 18 goals and 9 assists. Some of the assists that he was doing for Harry Kane, I remember he'd do cheeky little flicks over defences, little dinks over the top, and then Harry Kane would score. And it was just, I feel like, yeah, right now he's missing that flair, that little cheekiness that he used to have about him. But like I said, I don't believe it's gone. And if he does go out on loan, I hope it is a massive success. But I hope that he comes back. I feel like he's got a point to prove. He's got a point to prove to himself, to Jose, to the fans. Because like I said, I appreciate that I'm not like the only fan who wants him. There's going to be a number of fans that want him to do well at the club. And some people are going to go, no, he's peaked. He's get rid of him, sell. And I appreciate that. And like I said, I'm not trying to force an opinion on anybody at all. I just believe that there's still a good player there. And I feel like right now in a team that's starved of creativity, we need a bit of a creative flair. And if you've got a player of Dele Alli on the bench, bring him on. Don't even get him on the bench. Put him in the starting lineup. See how he goes. It is a very frustrating situation at the minute. I'm sure not only for fans but for Jose and for Dele. So It was just a video. I wanted to just do this video just in support of Dele. I want him to get back into the team. I wanted to get my points of view across, and I really appreciate finding out what you guys think. What you guys think of this current situation. Do you want him sold? Do you want him gone? Do you want him loaned out to come back, or do you want him to stay and fight for his place? I want him to stay and fight for his place. I really do, but I just feel like maybe right now the best thing for everybody is maybe just a temporary loan to go out, refresh your football, refresh yourself, come back, hit the ground running hopefully. But at the very end game, I want Dele to stay, and I want him to be in the team. I want him to. I'm sure we all want Dele back in the team. We want the old one back. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about the whole situation. Do you want him to stay? Do you want him to go? And yeah, is it a manager problem? Is it a player problem? Or is it just a team problem? Maybe the team doesn't work right for Dele at the minute. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I think, I can't remember what day we're playing. I think, it's Sheffield United on Sunday, I believe. Yeah, Sunday. So I might do another video in between then. But keep an eye out for it. Hit the subscribe button, because like I said, I really appreciate it. I want to start doing more videos like this. And apart from that, I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, come on you Spurs.